All right. Hey guys, welcome back. This is the second week of our Evolve Challenge, and today I am just sharing with you, as part of our accountability call, some of the things that are really resonating with me. I want to be very honest with you as we look at unlocking success. Success has not come very easy for me. And in fact, if I really have to be honest, every now and then I do have cringe moments when I think about, how I would have, back then showed up on my professional, journey representing, myself, my organization. And that was part of my evolutionary journey. So, in fact, this week I had a very crazy week, very crazy ride. Life sent me some challenges, and I found myself really pulling out some of my, rebuff cards that I have learned over time, over the years. Building up my courage and strength to show up as a winner is really important. And if you have not already heard this, let me be the first to tell you that, you don't, if you don't change, you choose for yourself. What you don't change, sorry, you choose for yourself. And I really searched and came upon opportunities to grow my career and business as a BPO consultant. And many challenges over time have been a big part of my story. So yes, I will confess it. I have been a scatterbrained, disorganized, procrastinating, putting her foot in all sorts kind of leader. Not the very best kind of leader to be led by. But here this too, just last week I, was humbled and reminded that the source of my success as a BPO consultant has more to do with my ability to use the challenges that show up to help me pivot in a new direction. So I have had a lot of opportunities to really practice. And now, when I face challenges in areas that I did not expect and do not have control over, they really call my attention hard because I ask myself some questions like, what is the lesson here? What do I have to learn? And what can I do better? So, the last week example that I'm speaking about, I lost a major client from an executive order impacting funding on ongoing work that I was doing. And I was actually traveling, coming away from a project implementation site. And I had my flight routes changed by the airline. I spent all day hopping, between islands and traveling in the most unpleasant weather because it was raining. Sometimes I actually held my breath when we were about to take off. Then I thought, I was coming home to paradise, only to get to paradise and a new challenge arose. An existing client shared the disappointment on an outcome that I was, spearheading and had delegated to a trusted member of my team. Now, it was a service that we had known was challenging, something we actually wanted to phase out, but we still took the work anyways. You know, the point is, so many of you think that success always wears a pretty face and that it is free of trouble. But you really have to, be willing to show up and put some skin in the game. In this game of life, I always remind myself that there are no such thing as free rides and free lunches. You really have to learn, and even by forced circumstances. And that can mean you pay in sweats, you pay in disappointments, and a few challenges, can show up from time to time. But when those disappointments and disruptions come knocking, your perspective can either be that you're anchoring down to sail through that storm, or you can accept, okay, my God, this is my downfall, and adopt a bad attitude. I promise you that the disappointments do not always have to equal denial. Sure, finding a corner to have a big old cry can feel tempting. And I have had some good old cries over mean bosses, maybe critics, friends who betrayed my trust. But it really changes, having the big old cry really changes the circumstances or the situation at hand. So what you should be thinking about after you've had the big old cry, just in case you're a cry, some of us we cry, but in case you are not a crybaby like some other persons, you should be thinking after you've had the big old cry, or if you're not going to have the big old cry, how are you going to position or reposition yourself after that disappointment or after that challenge? For me, this has always been a true game changer. And keep moving forward with faith and grace, even in those like very tough moments when I feel like, oh my goodness, this is not what I expected, and this is not what I wanted. Also, stop missing your opportunities because you're stuck with the wrong people, or even worse, trying to go this success journey alone because you're afraid people will hinder you, they will spoil you, they will steal your ideas. They can do no such thing. Let me tell you another thing. Stressing out, being offensive to others, being easily offended by others, isolating yourself. These are not success strategies. I know you would have been taught some of these limiting beliefs, but facing your challenges head on with the right support and the right perspective is what really makes the difference. So I'm going to give you 7 strategies. This week, in terms of accountability, I spoke about unlocking a few doors. And some of you have decided, you're going to step out. But some of us are derailing our chances of success rather than spending time positioning for what's ahead. And every disappointment or negative feedback and review that you've gotten in the past, and you have gotten in the past week, in the past 24 hours, you can actually use that. It might be exactly what you needed to help shape your bigger, greater, badass version. And I really need you to start embracing, with realistic urgency, that you're not going to waste time being hung up on your disappointments or when things don't work out in the way that you planned. There are some fundamentals that you can have available to keep you thriving, to keep you vibing, to keep you moving in the right direction. So these 7 strategies, I spoke about it, and I'm going to reinforce those strategies here. The first one is the fundamental principle of clarity. Do you know exactly what you want to achieve in the next 6 months? Having a clear vision can really give you direction, while daily habits are the small steps that bring the vision to life. Without clarity, you will find yourself stuck in cycles of indecision and procrastination. So get clear about what you want, what you need, what resources you want to access, what things you want to do, because that is going to help you to get unstuck. The other thing is the power of association. Who are you surrounding yourself with? The people in your circle can either elevate you or drain you. So surround yourself with individuals who challenge you to grow, positively provide inspiration, and push you to your highest potential. Not ask you questions like, you have this, you can do that? Who say so? Who tell you that? No, you want people who can really give you the fuel that you need. And the power of positive association, I want you to pay attention to that principle. The other thing is discipline and accountability. How are you tracking your progress and keeping yourself accountable? Where are your big blue books, your big red books? You're buying the folders. I already told you I have long given up cutesy diaries because they do not serve me. I need to track my progress. I need to keep myself accountable. Success doesn't happen by accident. So you have to become result oriented and consistent. And the only time you can do that, if you can actually measure a goal, and you can use tools like your calendars, your alarms, to track and to check off, what you've done. Having an accountability partner is another, thing that you can do. Like, we are keeping each other accountable. So I'm asking you, what did you do this week? We were talking about unlocking success. Did you even attempt to look at even just one principle and to come into the platform and post? This is not me being your mom right here, but I want you to invest in yourself. And this is the next principle. When was the last time you bought a book, took a course, join a mastermind group like this, family? Growth requires continuous learning. And if you're not investing in your personal and professional development, you're choosing to stagnate, and you're going to become a digital dinosaur. There are things that you're not going to be comfortable with very soon, and that is because you haven't been invested in continuous learning, continuous improvement. That 1% every day, slowly by slowly, consistent improvements every day. Are you waiting for a big dramatic moment to take action, like a big bang? Progress actually happens incrementally. So if you can get, every day an opportunity to refine your skill, your mindset, and strategies, take those small steps, and that will move you closer to your ultimate goal. Design your environment for success. You have the ability to change your environment. So what changes can you make to your physical environment or your digital space to better support your goals? Your environment influences your habits and your productivity, and I want to encourage you, declutter those distractions, set up an inspiring workspace, and ensure that your habits are supporting your long-term goals. Because if they're not, somebody else is designing and deciding how you should be spending your life and your future. And finally, raise your standards. Your life will rise to meet your expectations. If you demand excellence from yourself, then you'll naturally push beyond your limits and achieve more. And, I want to encourage you to set big goals. Like me, I always tell myself, girl, you got some big goals. But I also know that when I have these big goals, I have to be willing to stand up under the weight of those big dreams and those goals. And if you demand excellence from yourself, you will naturally push beyond limits and achieve more. So set high goals that challenge you and excite you, and be relentless in the pursuit of what you truly desire. As I come to a close on this week, and we have been talking about these 7 principles. Your success is in your hand. It's not something that I have the power to break. It's something that you have the ability to determine, and if you want to make a difference in the outcomes, and if you want to make different choices, then let 2025 be one of clarity, one of discipline, and one that is based on intentional transformation. So go take a hold of the opportunities. They are showing up, and they are hinting to you, and they're coming at you from different angles. And some of you are ignoring them. You're derailing your success because you keep stuck in those modules of repetitive cycles of things that are not working for you. But that's okay. Today is another day, and tomorrow will be another day, and you do have the ability to pivot and change. So I want to encourage you, stay accountable. This week is ending. Let's end strong. When I come in on Friday, I want to see our community blowing up with these 7 principles and how they're going to use these 7 principles. So this is Natasha, of course, signing off again with love and encouraging you to take action. Let's go. We have 2 more weeks to our Evolve challenge, and that will take us into February, after which we will have our master classes once monthly, Please stay connected. With love, signing off. This is Natasha.